I'm just gonna get right to the point on this one. MPC, what is arguably one of the pillars of the VFX industry, one of the biggest VFX studios in the entire world. They're so big that I'm pretty sure if you were to list your top 10 favorite movies or shows in the past 2 decades, there's a good chance that they've had a hand in making those projects into a reality. And in spite of this studio being as big as it is potentially on the verge of collapse. So we're just going to get straight into this. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. All I'm going to say is that this really sucks. This is... Now, this honestly is a really big surprise because MPC going down is like the equivalent of one of the big film studios just going belly up, alright? Paramount, Warner Bros., hell, even Disney. Like, if one of those were to just cease to exist, it would make huge ripples in the entire industry. And the same definitely applies to the likes of MPC. MPC is, like, I can't emphasize this enough, is one of the biggest VFX studios in the entire world. You know, as you guys know, I'm a huge fan of Godzilla. I love the MonsterVerse films. They've had a hand in practically every single title that has come out for the MonsterVerse, from Godzilla 2014 all the way up to Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire. So the fact that this VFX house that has been very prevalent in many a huge cinematic offerings, that not only just the MonsterVerse, but also the MCU, the DCEU, and potentially even done some work for the new Superman movie. So that's like 3 major cinematic universes. Well, you might as well throw in Fast and the Furious, since they've done VFX works for the last 3 films of that series. I guess the signs were there. There was that point where MPC had to close down their Vancouver office a couple of years ago. So yeah, I guess that was just an early warning sign of what's to come, pretty much. And yeah, it's like it's really sad to see this really happen. It's like the art of bringing something to life through through computer pixels is honestly it's a beautiful work of art. It's honestly really impressive work, and you know, to see how the effects industry has been treated by the big wigs, the big film studios. Like, there is many horror stories about the VFX industry. Like, there's that wave of people who worked on Marvel projects, and specifically pointed out Marvel. Like, I know some people wanted to go, oh, this is a problem with everyone, but note how a lot of those workers that were very disgruntled and, you know, just sharing their experiences specifically pointed out Marvel. But yes, this is like a problem that cascades over everything, and you know, it's like you know, there's I can't even begin to really talk about this. I have like stated this to many a friend, how the VFX industry is essentially a bubble, and there's only a matter of time before the way that things are, you know, for the past almost 2 decades, things the way that things are, the way that these film studios and the VFX studios operate, there's only it's a ticking time bomb, pretty much. All right, and sure, MPC going under isn't necessarily the bubble popping, but air is certainly being lost. And you know, I've seen many comments, people going, oh, well, it's a shame that MPC is going down, but at least we still have ILM and Weta Digital to pick up the slack. And to that I say, MPC, Motion Picture Company, is one of the largest VFX houses in the entire world. This is the 3rd time I'm saying it, but I just need to emphasize it. If they can go down, what makes you think that Weta Digital and ILM won't be subjected to the same fate? To me, all I see is just, this is just a matter of time, and I hope that if there's one good thing to potentially come out of this, is that the film studios that actively screw over the VFX studios will finally just get a wake-up call, because all of a sudden MPC is just gonna drop out off the map, This this prestigious studio that has been around since the 1980s, that helped with some of the early James Bond movies, is suddenly just gone. They're one of the biggest contributors to their visual effects is suddenly gone, and it's not like it, there's just so much going through my head. I just can't even like begin to like get a sentence together because I'm just really mad about this. I'm really mad that this was allowed to happen, and it will continue to happen. And it's not like this is anything new. This happened in the past. Like, funny little story. Remember the VFX house that won an Oscar for Life of Pi? Remember how they filed for bankruptcy 2 months after they won that award? God. I also remember there being conversations about studios funding their own VFX houses, which, that in itself, it's its own can of problems. And, like, if you thought working conditions are bad now, then, yeah, it's... like, with the studios actually funding their own VFX houses, will that guarantee the VFX house to stay in business? Yes. Do I expect them to have ethical work environments? Oh, hell no. This just sucks. This just really, really sucks. And yeah, it's weird because there was a part of me that really wanted to get into the to this industry because, you know, it's hard to explain why I even do this to begin with, but you know, the art of animation has always been something that was very beautiful to me. There's just something about getting a character together, putting them on screen, getting them to move, and then just seeing how it plays out. It's and yeah, just to see this pillar, this absolute behemoth of a studio, just go under, in spite of the fact that the demand of VFX has never been higher than now. And sure, there's going to be some people that's going to be like, oh, well, some movies are stepping away from CG and VFX, and to that I say, there's a couple of things I want you guys to check out after you finish watching this video. But you know, you know what? I'm just gassed out. There's not much more I can really add to this other than the fact that this is terrible. Don't think that that things are going to be all right. If there's one thing I really do want to say, is I hope that those who are directly affected by this bounce back. I really hope that those that will get laid off, that those will be forced out of these studios, will be able to find work somewhere else. I really do hope that you guys are. I hope that this is like a long shot, and I'm pretty sure this is going to happen. But I really do hope that MPC just finds a way to bounce back from this. But you know, miracles don't happen every day, I guess. But yeah, yeah, I will leave this video with 4 things I want you guys to check out. All right, just 4 things. Number 1 being the Cartoon Brew live update article that is keeping tabs on the situation as it progresses. Definitely check that out. It will definitely highlight a couple of things. Yeah. After that, there's also this article by CBC. It focuses on the VFX industry in Quebec. So, and you know, I definitely feel like the article itself, it's more or less a microcosm of what's happening to the entire industry. This isn't just something that happens in Quebec. And also, that's another thing I need to point out. While looking for information that you guys should check out, there have been some articles from studio heads that are like, oh yeah, the future is animation. And very conveniently, they don't really... like, there's the hopes that you want to see happen, and then there's the actual state of the industry itself, which is, you know, imploding on itself. I'll try and find another article that highlights how the VFX industry is utilized through Hollywood and why the system in place does not support the further growth of these studios, but rather it kind of just slowly chokes them out. So yeah, I'll try and do that. But in the meantime, there's this really good documentary called Life After Pi that showcases the story of Rhythm and Hue Studios, the VFX studio that won an Oscar for their work on Life of Pi, but 2 months after receiving that award, had to file for bankruptcy. Yeah, finally, there's this there's this short video series that I definitely think you guys should check out. It's Movie Rabbit Holes No CGI series. This is to showcase how even if the VFX industry, this is to more or less showcase how film studios and talking heads kind of lie to you. How, oh, this movie uses no CGI, VFX nowhere to be found, only for it to be the prime component of some of those films and series, and some of those shows and series' most prominent moments or characters, even. So definitely check that out to see how much of how needed VFX is in Hollywood. And yeah, that's it. I just wanted to point out the situation. I don't see anyone else really reporting it. Let me see if there's anyone else on YouTube who's showcasing it, because there's like a good number of articles that are talking about this, but you know, it's, yeah, first thing that comes up is like soundboards. Yeah, there's like there's a few videos here, but surprisingly nothing from people that actively do movie news, which is kind of frustrating. It really does feel like VFX is kind of this thing that that people take for granted. So, you know, check out those 4 articles to find out why VFX is more important than you think it is. But, you know, yeah, this just sucks. This just straight up sucks. I hate it here.